Glad it's finally fucking back. All right, we up there. Once I get the link for the live stream, I'll tweet it. Then we in the game.
Yo, why this nigga got a piece of chicken in his hand?
All right, stream is up. Where is... Oh, let me switch accounts. All right, I'm tweeting it from Underhooks now.
Let's see.
All right. Oh, I forgot to add the fucking link. Hold on. Fuck. Copy it first. Absolutely forgot to add the link. Delete that tweet. What's that? Dang, it's YouTube link. All right, now it's on the account. I'm gonna retweet it. All right. Underhooks podcast is back with our first episode of 2022. It's been a long time off for Stefan and I. There's been not a lot of UFC or no UFC at all. We hope y'all enjoyed your holidays, but we almost back for Big Violence Hour. Stefan, how you been?
Doing good. I had a little fight with COVID, but we are back in the streets. You know, I wish there was UFC on when I had COVID and couldn't do anything. I should have watched like some old fights or something. I'm excited. We're starting off the year with a pretty decent card, and then we go right into the big boys settling the belt. So it's gonna be a fun year.
I'm glad that you're out of the health and safety protocols. We always want you to be healthy, and you're right, man. Before we jump into these upcoming fights and rumored fights, and a lot of news, obviously, that there's been in the last 3 weeks, I just want to get a sense of what your best moments for 2021 were in MMA. I know most podcasts do awards. Maybe we'll do awards next year, but I just want to run down a couple of very cool moments that we experienced this year as MMA fans before we jump into the new stuff.
So thinking back on the year, I think probably, it's so hard. Usman's knocked out of Masvidal just because of how hilarious that night was. I just remember laughing on Twitter at all the tweets, and that was such a vicious-ass knockout.
It was getting nasty. They were memeing him, and it wasn't even like this just MMA Twitter. Like, he was getting memed across the whole timeline, bro.
And that was the thing. Yeah, it wasn't just a normal crew talking about UFC. Literally, everybody was cracking up. And I've never seen sweat fly off anybody like that before in my life. It's like that Sprite commercial where Drake, like, opened up and Sprite flew everywhere. Second moment, of course, is Amanda. Like, that's kind of fresh, but it's like, how in the hell did that happen? So that was a crazy moment. I can't think of anything else that just kind of like crazy stands out to me.
What Volkanovski and Ortega stands out to me because even though the fight wasn't necessarily close, in that third round when Ortega had the choke in, I don't think I've jumped off my couch more in a fight this year. I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, holy shit, like, this dude's been getting dominated and he found a way to get him in this choke. And just to see, it felt like it lasted I felt like he was in that choke for 20 minutes because it just felt like Volkanovski just like outlasted it so long, and Ortega kept locking it in, and Volkanovski just was like, no, fuck that, I'm not going out. Like, it was just a super dope moment. Obviously, Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje, probably the fight of the year, was absolutely insane. That's also kind of recent, but like,
and I just thought about that. like UFC 268. Like we talked about that card for the longest amount of time, and that card absolutely lived up to the billing.
Lived up to it, bro. It was so insane because the fight after the Gaethje Chandler fight was a good fight, but it was like I've never seen the crowd just like completely dead. Like they had no more energy to give because the fight before had been so insane that like they had to come down. Like it was that kind of card. It was what a crazy night.
Yeah, that was such a fun night. I think I actually went back home and went to watch the fight at Twin Peaks that night. And even I made my wife stay and watch the fight. So it was like insane to have that atmosphere because I always feel like fights are so much fun at a bar where people are actually caring about it. People are scrimmage like you might as well be in the arena. So for that card, which was like CTE damn Super Bowl, that was an amazing night. So that card in general is a legendary card in my opinion. Like if you want to get somebody in the UFC, it's like, hey, put on UFC 268. Just press play on that card.
And like, what other moments were big? The Rose Wei Lee thing was just massive, just because it happened so fast. Like it literally just like, oh shit, we did all this buildup and this fight is already over. What else? Conor getting cooked twice was hard for me personally, but obviously those, especially in the first fight, super huge moments when Dustin started to land like that, you could tell Conor was compromised. It's just like I was at a pool party when this fight was happening, and I was very drunk and having a great time, and I was just running around, jumping up and down. I couldn't believe that Conor was going out like that, but obviously it was a huge moment. The fight really lived up. The one after that, obviously we had the leg break, so it didn't really get to reach the climax. But that first one was a lot of fun and everything that we signed up for, and a fun ass fight that we knew it was going to be.
You know, another fight that I really loved too was Jair Rodriguez and Max Holloway. I feel like they ended the year so dang strong with fights. But that fight was absolutely fun, especially after Jair coming off, a year not fighting, and he absolutely delivered and Max delivered. So trying to think, when you brought it up, I was like, yeah, Ortega was really fun, but that end of the year, man, was so great for UFC. So they're going to have to do a lot to top what we saw this past year, which I'm sure we get some fun fights.
Big facts. I got a couple announced fights, and I think the best way to do it is just in the order in which they appear. So coming up in February, added to the Houston card in February, which I will be attending, which I'm very excited about. We got Tai Tuivasa and Derek Lewis, which is weird because Derek Lewis just said in an interview like a couple days before this fight was announced that he didn't want to fight in Houston anymore because of how it went when he fought Gane in Houston. And he was the main event and he got all this attention. And he said that the attention and people reaching out to him in Houston was super stressful. But really, he just got his ass whooped. I don't want to hear none of that, bro. He was in that ring and he was getting pieced up and he couldn't touch Gane. And he started to get frustrated and then he got knocked out. Like, I don't want to hear this. Obviously, the Houston thing couldn't be that big of a deal if you agreeing to a fight in Houston a week after you said that. So, we'll see how this goes. Maybe he wants
to redeem himself. I imagine it is like really rough for you to fight in front of your hometown. You got that pressure to really perform. So maybe it was that, but I don't know. He's given us too many duds when it's been time to absolutely, put on the show. Like, what was it? Him and damn, I can't even remember which one it was. Him and Francis the first time.
Him and Francis the worst fight I've ever seen.
So it was awful.
How you have two niggas that big and that strong in the ring and nobody hitting nobody?
Absolutely god awful. So, maybe he'll let his hands go because again, his time is up.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad he won, but like that division is two very young cats who aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So you gotta go all out right now.
Hopefully he turns up. Tai Tuivasa has looked great lately. I think 4 knockouts in a row. Shoeies every time. Both these dudes are probably top 5, top 10 in the UFC in terms of what they do on the mic and the way they cut their promos. So we're guaranteed to have a good time. I'm excited to be there. Somebody's absolutely getting knocked out and somebody's going to cut a WWE promo and I'm here for all of it. And it's going to be fun as shit. I can't wait for it. The next one, we got Rafael Dos Anjos is signed up to fight Rafael Fiziev. This fight is going to be this also later in February. This fight's going to be amazing. Fiziev looks like a killer out here.
I'm ready to see what he's going to do. I'm confident that I need to go ahead and write that pick down because we are writing our ship in 2022 with picks.
Oh, here we go.
Look, let me go ahead and put my stamp on that pick right there because that is going to be an absolutely amazing fight.
RDA is one of those dudes that will fight anybody, and Fiziev is probably the hottest name behind him. These are always fun ass fights when you have the guy who everybody thinks will be the next guy going up against a very solid guy who is playing gatekeeper. RDA is talking tough. I think Fiziev's going to cook him, but we'll see when we get there. That's also in February. Just today, we got announced that on March 5th, there will be two legends of the 305 getting down. Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington are squaring off March 5th on that pay-per-view. 305. We don't know if it's going to be in Miami. Obviously, it should be in Miami. And Florida ain't got no fucking COVID rules anyway. So go ahead and put it in Miami, Dana, and stop playing. This fight was announced today. Let
DeSantis be the referee for that fight. The MAGA Bowl.
This is the MAGA Bowl. Somebody called this. They call this the Incel Bowl. They were going in on the titles of this, but obviously there's a lot of history here. These dudes used to train together. They go out of their way to talk shit about each other in every interview, even if they're supposed to be talking about whoever the hell they signed up to fight. Colby's coming off 2 losses, but he lost to maybe the best fight in the world, probably the best fight in the world. So I don't think it says anything about him, his talent level. He looked great in both fights. So he should be the heavy favorite in here against Masvidal, who my co-host would tell you was a bump.
That is absolutely the facts. Colby is going to destroy him. That's going to be so fun. I might tweet from Parler for that account. I'm going to bring up the old Parler account and see what we can find out there. That's right. It's going to be jumping on Parler. But I'm excited because, I don't see any real way for us not to have a Colby Usman fight again. I think that's just something that's going to eventually happen. Of course, Chimaev is going to get thrown in. There may be some other cats that are going to be thrown in, but I still think you're going to see Colby have to fight Usman one more time. And honestly, I'm not too against it, but I'm glad that this one is happening because we are going to get some elite slander in those promos.
I think, okay, answer me this. What are you going to come on this podcast and say if Masvidal somehow knocks this dude out? Somehow, Colby get knocked out crazy. We memeing Colby. What are you going to say about that?
It's not. I mean, Colby's good. I mean, I've just said really it several times. I hate him, but he is good. Masvidal just isn't in that class.
Well, Masvidal needs a big win if he's going to stay up here amongst this class. I agree. After fighting Usman a couple times and losing those fights.
And then beating random bums off the street.
Okay. Both these dudes have all the recent losses have been to the best in the world. So we can't take just those fights to separate them. However, it does look like, or I can at least say Colby performed better in those fights against Usman than Masvidal did, but it ain't like Masvidal's out here losing to bums. This is a huge fight for Masvidal because Masvidal still sees himself amongst the elite. I think a lot of people don't see him on that tier anymore. But if you go beat Colby, can't nobody say anything about your current form. So big fight for him. He's going to be super motivated. That's going to be fun as shit. The slander is going to be fun. The press conference is going to be amazing. That fight just got announced. That's going to be big fire, and that's in March. We also got in the flyweight division, Kai Kara France is his next fight. He just beat up on your man Cody Garbrandt. He's fighting Oscar Askarov next. Next at the flyweight division. And Askarov was one of these guys who's been on a winning streak and been saying, I deserve that championship fight, but because they keep fighting Moreno and Figueiredo, nobody can really get in. But this is probably your next title contender. Whoever Moreno's gonna beat the shit out of Figueiredo again. And then after that happens, Moreno's probably gonna fight the winner of this fight, Oscar Askarov and Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France used to be a dude that couldn't knock nobody out, and all of a sudden his last 2 fights, he's knocking people out. So this would be pretty interesting fight here. I cannot wait to see what Askarov can do because he kind of needs to make a name for himself now, and beating Kai Kara France would help him make his name.
Yeah, and Kai Kara France, I think he's going to do absolutely amazing in that fight. I was really impressed with him, even though Cody embarrassed me in front of the nation. But, I think that's going to be a good fight for him, and then it'd be interesting to see where he goes from there. I think he's going to be in a title shot here soon.
We also got a fight that was called off, a fight that I think we mentioned on this podcast before, or maybe not. But We talked a lot about Max and Volkanovski. That fight was agreed to last week, and then a couple days after it got agreed to, the fight was canceled because Holloway pulled out of the fight. He got hurt. Volkanovski called for Korean Zombie on Twitter, and obviously it's kind of a weird spot because I think Korean Zombie's like down at 5, but Volk is the champ, and you can't say anything about it because he ain't the one that pulled out of the fight. He agreed to fight the best dude in the division for the 3rd time, even though he already beat him twice. You can't take anything from Volkanovski, and if the champ wants Korean Zombie because Korean Zombie's a big name, that's what the champ should get, and that's the fight that they booked.
Yeah, I mean, I love Korean Zombie. Again, I always tell everybody one of my favorite fights ever is here in Yair Rodriguez. But yeah, I'll be excited for that because again, I think Volk has 2 fraudulent title defenses. So I don't see Korean Zombie beating him. I love Korean Zombie, but I just don't see him pulling that out somehow. I'd be interested to see what the odds are, but I'm not betting on the odds. I just want to see what's out there because it'd be one of those that would have to be a value situation because you never know. I mean, but I just don't think he's that caliber yet.
That would be a huge win for Korean Zombie, who's kind of a cult legend in the sport. People love him. He hasn't quite looked himself lately, so most people don't see him on that kind of elite tier that Volkanovski's been fighting in, the Maxes and the Volkanovskis of the world. But this will be a fun-ass fight and a great chance for Korean Zombie to really go out there and accomplish something he's been trying to accomplish and make a name, make his legend grow even more. I don't think Volkanovski is invincible. I think the guy can be beat. I think if you gave me odds right now for him fighting that dude from Bellator, AJ McKee, I would probably pick McKee. So it's not like I think Volkanovski is the best at that weight in the world. I don't think he would beat Max, but I definitely think he should be able to beat Korean Zombie, but it'll be a fun ass fight. Korean Zombie is not a person who's going to back down, and all his fights are fun no matter what happens. They're always fun. So that's going to be dope, but it is going to look weird, and we'll get to this fight. If your man Giga looks great on Saturday, it's going to look extremely weird that dude's not fighting for a title next. And it puts him in a weird spot because is he gonna wait? Because this fight is happening now. The championship fight won't happen until April, so the kind of timelines are going to be weird. Giga could sit and wait, but you never know what the money looks like, and he might want to keep fighting. And he probably, if he goes out and gets a big win on Saturday, probably thinks that I can go out and beat somebody else anyway. Like maybe he won't sit, but he could sit and get the next shot. It just depends.
Yeah, and I think he's been, I can't remember if he's been super active last year. I feel like he's had maybe 2 fights it was last year.
I think he fought twice last year.
Yeah, so I mean, I can see that. Active. Yeah, I can see that going in another fight, but I think he's going to,
He's good. We'll talk about him more as we get to that fight coming up on Saturday. Also the Sterling and Yan fight that we all knew was going to happen has been booked for the same pay-per-view as the Volkanovski, and this is in the
Aljo is going to pull out. We got how many months for them? I'm so tired, son. I really like. It's just
he's been talking heavy as he does.
It's a shame because he is a really good fighter, a really great grappler. I mean, he has a tremendous ground game.
Can really wrestle.
I hate him. Like, how do we get to the point where I'm like, damn? If I used to have Colby as my number 1 most hated person, and now I feel like I need to bump him up and put Aljo number 1 because he's very annoying. Most annoying person humanly possible. Like, I get not being humble and people don't like humble champions and humble doesn't sell, but like, I'm not asking you to be Russell Wilson. Like, I don't need you putting scripture up and stuff like that. But like, bro, like at least you've got a little bit of humble. Like we all saw the same fight. Like there's nobody on this planet who thinks he won. I don't know if his mom is a big fan of his, but I guarantee you, if you ask his mama in a closed off room, she's gonna tell you, my baby. No,
my son was getting his ass whooped.
My baby was getting his ass tore up. Like I love him, but he was absolutely getting destroyed. But like son walks around like he's John Jones or some shit. And I'm like, bro, what?
The stick is nasty. I guess like what else are you supposed to do? Like he has to somehow convince himself that he going into the next fight he's gonna win it because that's how a fighter's supposed to think. But it looked like these people were a pretty wide margin apart in terms of skill level. It was nasty. It was completely nasty.
And we talk about confidence, and we talked about it like with Amanda, but it's like it's not somebody that you've actually fought. Like, okay, it's one thing to have confidence against a new opponent. You know, you're the big underdog. You got your ass whooped. Like, it wasn't close. And this man caught a CTE knee, fake cried, act like he didn't want a belt. Like, do you remember him?
Act like he won a belt.
Look, he did not want that belt. They put the belt on him and shook his head.
He shook his head like he didn't want it. And then a week later, he got on.
It wasn't even a week later.
I'm the champ.
Sunday afternoon.
Y'all can't see me. Like, what? We saw you try to reject this belt. Now you talking like you beat it. You missed the badass. Now it's just it's insane the way it happened so fast. Like, we saw you not want this belt, bro.
That man was on Twitter with the belt in the hotel chilling. That was nasty.
He put the little championship belt Abby, a little emoji in his Abby. Like, what are you doing, bro? We know you're not the champ. No disrespect. You are not the champ, bro. Like,
I want to go back and find that now. I want to find that little clip of him shaking his head that like he didn't want the belt. I think he like set it down or some shit. He is so unserious, man.
So that fight's gonna be the same card, and it's rumored that on that same April pay-per-view, which is looking like maybe the pay-per-view of the year or at least the early year, they're thinking that Chimaev and Gilbert Burns will also be on that card.
Ooh,
that's nasty. It's a lot of nasty talent on that card if we get that. Obviously, Chimaev Burns would be fun as hell. Both those dudes can grapple their asses off, but Gilbert Burns is going to get embarrassed, and I cannot fucking wait. This fight is rumored. It's not booked yet, but this one's just rumored, and if that happens, that April card is going to be nasty. It's going to
be absolutely a ton of fun.
Who we got next? Miesha Tate is going down to 135 to fight Lauren Murphy. I don't know why she's going down. She's never fought down here before, so this will be her debut down here. And she's going to fight Lauren Murphy. Of course, we just saw Lauren Murphy fight Valentina Shevchenko and didn't really fight Valentina Shevchenko. She got cooked a lot. So I love to see Miesha down here, and I think Lauren Murphy might be in some trouble because Miesha Tate's very good, but we'll see if she can make the weight. That's the scary part. She's going down far. I think the rest of these are rumored. So there's rumored that on that March 19th card, which is supposed to be in London, Dan Hooker is going to fight Arnold Allen on that card. Of course, Hooker is moving down to 145, so that's actually happened. But Arnold Allen has like a 10-fight win streak or something like that. Dan Hooker might be in some trouble.
Yeah, I don't know, Dan Hooker. I'm tired of putting my faith in Dan Hooker right now. The man has burnt me a little bit too much here.
If he can, we already see that he can make the weight because he's already made the weight. So assuming his weight cut goes well, Dan Hooker is an extremely strong dude to be fighting down there. He's really strong as a lightweight. So like that dude is going to be extremely strong down there, but everybody else is going to be a touch faster down there. And it feels like the lightweights were faster than Dan Hooker. So now you're going to deal with people who are even faster than these people. It could get scary for Dan Hooker, but he needs a win. He needs a very big win down there. And Arnold Allen is nothing to play with. So I'm excited to see that fight. Dan Hooker lose that fight, we might not be hearing from Dan Hooker for a while. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with him if he loses that fight.
Bellator.
He would cook. I want to see it. Put him in Bellator and let him win like 7 fights in a row.
He would absolutely destroy everybody there.
What else? We also are rumored to have the Paddy Pimblett versus Jared Gordon fight on that same London card. But did you see in the news, Paddy Pimblett said that if Charles Oliveira can do that to Dustin Poirier, then Paddy Pimblett can do that to Dustin Poirier too?
Yeah, I'm sure he would love to jump everybody and get a fight with Dustin Poirier. That's not happening.
If my son Paddy did Dustin Poirier wrong in 2022 and became the biggest thing in the world, I would love it. Go violate that man, Paddy.
Dustin is going to fight Nate. He's going to fight Connor again. He is doing solely money fights. That window is closed. He is not fighting an up-and-comer at all.
That's facts. Why? I can go fight Nate Diaz and have a much easier day and make a lot more money.
Shit ton more money. No, thank you.
We both saw that Joanna Jędrzejczyk says she's coming back, and she says she's probably going to fight Wei Li. Obviously, that's huge news because those two people fought 3 years ago, and it was the best fight of the year.
19?
That's one of the most insane fights ever.
I've never seen anybody's head that deformed ever. That was nasty.
Joanna Jacek's head was like 4 times the usual size. She looked like Megamind after the fight. She was getting pieced up, but both of them were landing. That fight was a knockdown, drag out battle. I would love to see that fight again. I was shocked they didn't rematch it as soon as that fight happened. Wei Li has gone on to win the title and then lose the title. This is the perfect entry fight for Joanna Jacek to come back. Sign me up for this fight. This fight's gonna be fire. I cannot wait.
I would love to see Wei Li gets another camp with Mr. Cringe. Yeah, Henry. And because I feel like she did such a better job. I think just, her spending that time in Arizona would be amazing to see how that kind of looks. And she needs a confidence win. And
she definitely looked better.
Yeah, you've had 2 losses. So, I mean, her career isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. She's still relatively young. So I think that'll be a fun fight. And it was, like you said, it was an amazing-ass fight. That was one of the best fights in UFC history. People won't say that because it's the females, but that was an amazing-ass fight.
It absolutely was. That shit was fire. Sign me up for that again. Cody Garbrandt, who we talked about earlier, wants to fight Sean O'Malley, which is weird because that means he would be going back up to his original weight class.
Yeah. And I prefer my son Sean not a good look. I'm glad we're moving up the ranks, but let's not do quite that. I don't want the train derailed.
Sean O'Malley will knock Cody Garbrandt out just like everybody else and their mom have been knocking Cody Garbrandt out. I ain't trying to hear, bro. I would love for them to give my son Sean this fight. It's a huge name, a former champion. That way we can stop listening to all this fucking slander about the kid ain't fought nobody. When you go knock out y'all's favorite former champion and make him look bad out there, then I want you to put some respect on his name.
See, but everybody's going to say everybody has been knocking him out. So it doesn't move the needle for me.
I want to see my son Sean dance on his corpse. Sign me up for it, bro. Sign me up.
Sean is going to fight 2 times, and by the end of 22, we are really going to have the discussion that he has arrived. I guarantee. In 2023, Sean is fighting for a belt.
Let's go. I can't wait to see the kid. My son is going to cook. If they want him to bury Cody Garbrandt, he can do that. If that's a step up, that's fine too. We don't got to do that, but that's rumored, or at least Cody Garbrandt is speaking into existence.
If my son cooks in 2023, I'm gonna grow my hair back out and I'm gonna give you some colored braids.
Michael Chandler said this week that he wants to move to 170. He doesn't want to cut down to 155 anymore. He said he walks around at 190, so he's got to cut down 40 pounds.
I can see that.
Obviously, I don't want to do that anymore. He said he would do it to go fight Conor, obviously, but we don't even know if Conor would go down to 155 anymore. And he said he also wants to fight Nate Diaz, which I would love to see. I think Nate Diaz is going to fight Dustin, but if he doesn't fight Dustin, I would love to see Michael Chandler fight Nate Diaz. And if Michael Chandler can't beat Nate Diaz, we're going to have a real conversation about Michael Chandler.
Yeah, we might
have a real conversation about Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
That would be fun as hell. I would love to see Michael Chandler also thinks that he might fight Conor, but that's probably not going to happen because why would Conor fight? Conor need to leave these fucking he need to fight somebody like number 10, bro. I don't want to see Conor fighting any of these.
Not happening. Dana's not wasting him on the number 10, and Conor's ego isn't gonna let him fight at number 10.
Well, Conor said he coming back and fighting Charles Oliveira. That's not what I want to see, bro.
He's not jumping that. He's not jumping that many people. Fight Nate Diaz, Conor, Nate, make it happen. That's the easiest
I would love
fight.
To see Conor, Nate, easiest fight. They got.
You make money. You get Conor an easy win.
Conor needs the confidence win.
Yeah, and that's the perfect one because he's going to talk absolutely like this is prime Nate that he beat instead of us knowing that this is old washed up Nate.
And I'm going to be here for every second of it. I would love that. Please, God, don't put him in with Oliveira. I don't want to see what Oliveira would do to Conor McGregor. I do not want to see that.
There's no way that's happening. You just don't jump that many people.
If you Conor McGregor, you might jump that many people. At least he's talking like he's jumping that many people. Hopefully, it's the painkillers talking and not him. Like,
if Justin Gaethje loses, he can fight Conor.
I don't want to see Conor fight Justin Gaethje either.
He would absolutely. That would be Conor's last fight of his life.
Oh, get well soon, Conor. All right, so now we got to talk about what we got going on this week, and the UFC is finally back. It feels like it's been pretty much a month since we've had UFC fights. So we're about to be back up. We got a pretty good main event on this card. It's Giga Chikate against Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar obviously coming off a very brutal loss to my son Max Holloway. Max Holloway put this man in the dirt for 5 rounds, beat the hell out of this man on ABC. You didn't even have to pay to see. This wasn't even on cable. They did this on regular TV, and we haven't seen Calvin Kattar since. And that was about a year ago. So Kattar had to go rest and heal and reflect. And now he in there with Giga, another monster. Last time we saw Giga, he was beating up on what do you call the dude who do all the kicks? I just forgot his damn name.
Giga's last fight.
Yeah, you got
to remember offhand.
Anyway, he looked great in his last fight. He finished him, and he's been on a win streak. Giga looks like a monster, and this is a fight that's clearly set up for Giga if he goes and wins it. Kattar is highly ranked enough to where Giga's probably going to fight for a title. Obviously, Max has to come back and fight for the title after Zombie, but Giga would be right up there for a title shot if he's able to get this win. He's favored in the fight, and Giga's an absolute monster. Kattar really needs to win.
And Giga's last fight was Barboza, and then he had Swanson and Simmons.
He knocked Swanson out and Barboza out.
Yes.
But we should start. I guess I'll start us at the bottom of the card first. That's just the main event. But we'll start at the bottom of the main card and get our picks in. In the first fight, we got Brito making his debut against Algio. I should have wrote his first name down.
Bill. I'm not trusting any man named Bill. I'm going to let y'all know that. No man named Bill. Like, who is named Bill in this age? Like, he's a young cat, too, I think. He's not old.
Bill Algio. I think he lost his last 2 fights.
Yeah, he's Algio, like 14-6. He's a plus 110 dog.
Yep. Brito, who's in his debut, is the favorite, minus 130. So I'm good. I know you're not taking Bill. I'm also not taking Bill. If you're making your debut and you're favored, that shows you what they think of Algio. Obviously, he ain't out there cooking people, so he's being served up to this new dude. I'm taking Brito to win the fight. That's a featherweight fight.
I absolutely agree with that. Brito. I've seen like some of his early fights, like really early fights. I don't know what I was watching on late night, random channel, but kid's gonna be good. I think he'll win that one easily. I'm surprised the odds are what they are, honestly.
Next, we got a heavyweight fight. You got Chase Sherman against Collier. Collier is the minus 130 favorite, and Sherman is the plus 110 dog. And I'm taking Sherman, by the way. I think Sherman, he's the dog, but he's going to get this done. He's going to knock this dude out.
I'm going to go with Jake on this one. The only thing I'm worried about is I feel like for some reason, I thought their reach was way different than what it is because every time I've seen Chase fight, he looks so tall and long, but they have the same reach, so we'll see.
All right, so we on the same picks. By the way, we starting our picks over for the year, guys. So
that's right. It's a clean slate.
Last year, it's a clean slate.
So far,
we got the same 2 picks. Next, we got this is a rematch actually. Caitlin Chikagian is fighting Jennifer Maia. Chikagian is the minus 180 favorite, and Maia is the plus 155 underdog. And remember, in this fight last time, Maia missed weight and then lost the decision to Chikagian.
So respectfully, I am a big Caitlin fan. She has one of the greatest Twitter accounts with UFC. The blonde fighter. She had some elite likes.
Right now,
so
elite likes.
Like I can't even say it with a straight face. She represents the demographic that we represent on Twitter with her likes. She is a wholesome account. So we are with the blonde fighter.
Oh
so Caitlin, if you hear this pod, follow me back. I like what you like. We could be a team out here.
Oh God, what a hilarious day on Twitter that was when that came out. Caitlin Chikagian does like to have a good time. She has some good taste. And she won this fight last time. She's going to win it again. I think Maia has figured out the scale part, so we shouldn't worry about the weight too much. But I just think Chikagian looked better in the fight last time, and I don't think that anything has really changed. And this is probably a flyweight eliminator. The person who doesn't win this fight is not going to be fighting for title any soon. And the person who does win this fight might have with these divisions, it don't like it. Who's flyweight? That's Rose, right? No,
it'd be flyweight. Is
that Valentina?
Valentina, because Caitlin fought Valentina. I mean,
We know what's gonna happen.
You never
Get
know.
back up
This is a
there.
new year. Goats have been
No,
going
it's not.
down.
No, I know
See?
what Pena did. I understand that. None of them chicks are beating Valentina. That's not happening, bro. 2022
Okay.
will be just like 2020. She gonna beat the shit out of everybody in that division, bro. And she might beat up Nunes when they see her next time, but that's a different
And
story. Nunes
Nunez
won.
is about to get it back in blood. She had posted something the other day on IG. She wasn't even playing with the baby anymore. I said, "Oh no,
Oh no, she blocked
she
me.
don't went 0-30 on us. She ain't even fucking with the baby no more."
0-30. We'll see, bro. I don't know, man. I think so too, but I'm nervous about it. All right,
Look, go on Instagram and check out. I'm telling you, she is going to murder somebody.
I need it. I need it in my life. I need to get it right back in blood. So far, we on the same picks, and we only got 2 more fights. I know who you picking in the main event, so we got
That's
one
right.
more chance. The next one is Brendan Roybal is the -160 favorite. He's fighting Bontarine, the +140 underdog. Royval's lost 2 straight coming in. Bontarine is a BJJ expert. He be subbing the shit out of people, and Bontarine's going to win this fight.
Oh, see, now you're making me want to do it, but no, I'm going with you. Bontarine is definitely winning this fight. I was looking at his, what was it? His takedown average was 1.68. He has a sub average of 1.20. So I was like, okay, that he is going to this fight. So if we're going to deviate, this fight doesn't make it past the second round. Because there's your betting pick.
I say it goes to the third round. I think he's going to finish him in round 2.
I don't see it happening.
And then we got the main event. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. Giga and Calvin Kattar. Giga's going to win this fight. I mean, Giga looks unstoppable. I just think that Giga is so fast. Giga says he's the best boxer in the UFC. He's not even the best boxer in the division because Max Holloway is in the division. But he is a great boxer. He's so fast. When he was fighting Barbosa, who is also extremely fast and also can kick the shit out of you, it was like his kicking was on par, but his boxing was better. He's just faster in a division where everybody is fast. Giga is faster than everybody we've seen him against so far. I think he's definitely faster than Kattar. Kattar's probably stronger, but Giga has the strength to knock out anybody in that division. So the strength difference doesn't matter too much to me because Giga is more likely to land the shit that's going to really hurt you. Whereas Kattar is a good boxer and maybe even a better boxer, but I don't know if he has another avenue for victory. I see a couple different ways Giga can win the fight.
Yeah, and his last fight was with Max Holloway. I'm pretty sure that one went 5 rounds. Yes. He beat Ige. He beat Stevens. So it's striker on striker. And like you said, Kattar is a hell of a boxer. He's not with Giga, but that strength, he has the absolute knockout power to really damage you. I mean, him and Ige were absolutely trading in that fight. So, you said you're going Giga, right?
I'm going Giga. Oh, you about to
Kattar. You know what I'm thinking.
You're about to regret this.
Give me Calvin. Let's go ahead and lock it in. Look, ain't nothing changed. Look, ain't nothing changed but that last number at the calendar.
Look how you starting the new year, bro. You starting the new year. You gave up a free win immediately.
Look, I'm telling y'all, the bet
we
odds
can't
are
have
there
the same
too.
damn pick, so I respect that you did that.
Yeah, we can't do that. I'm telling you, but this is a good betting pick too. If you want to throw some money out there, this is the value pick of the week.
I don't even know if I said it. Giga's the -250 favorite. Kattar's the +200 underdog. I'm probably staying away from this one because my first thought was to bet on Kattar too, but I don't think he's going to win. But the odds look great. I think the fight's closer than the odds would have so it would make some sense to throw some money at it, but Giga's going to win this fight.
Look, so Calvin, and then go ahead and parlay that with Bontarine. You're good to go because he's +145, +200, easy money.
He gonna cook. I can't wait to see that fight. I'm very excited about that fight. It's not the best card, obviously, but I'm so happy to have fights back. But I'm so thirsty. It's gonna feel good. Like when you're on a drought and you finally get you some, it don't got to be the best. It's like, what I'm saying, like it's still serviceable. That's what this fight card is going to be.
And it's a perfect time in sports. I mean,
It is.
we don't really watch NFL that much. I'll dabble in it, but college football's over. Basketball is at full swing. Yeah, I mean it's going on, but it's not like it's
Yep.
playoffs where everything is turning up. So this would be a time I probably watch more UFC than I would anything else. So.
I can't wait for Saturday. We back for 2022. Another amazing episode. Thank you for tuning in. And after this one, we got the pay-per-view. We got Gane and Ngannou. We'll have a guest come on. We'll recap the card that's about to happen. We'll preview the UFC 270, I think it is. And we're going to get ready to talk some shit because I have a lot of thoughts on this fight.
That's right. Teej told me in confidence before the show that he was that he was taking Gun.
No, that's not
true. He said to go ahead and get your money in.
No, I didn't.
He also said he's taking Aljo. He's just waiting for the bookie to take his credit. So get ready, 2022. Bet the house on Teej.
Anyway, y'all, thanks for tuning in. We out of here.